Hey guys, Rashard here with Crypto Loaners, and I'm here with a video where I'm gonna discuss a little bit about coin selection. I think it's an important topic if you have like a bunny account or something small, even if you have a larger kangaroo account at the moment. Um, on a exchange like Binance, where I think they have 111 coins currently, but you can only use 75 coins. Um, Knowing which coins to actually have over here is kind of important if you're running a strategy. If you're doing, if you have a kangaroo and you're doing multiple, or signals only, it's not as important. If you're doing a bunny and you're doing a uh, and signals only, that's super important. But it depends on the package that you're using at the moment. So there are a couple things that you can use that are outside of Cryptohopper. Just to look at, and I'm sure other people have talked about this as a tool that you can use if you do use signals. One of the best things you can kind of do, and right now the signals I'm using, I don't even know why I have this here. These guys haven't sent a signal in on Binance, and I don't know how long. I'm actually going to just check right now out of curiosity. Um, yeah, they've never done a Binance signal ever. I should just remove them. I'm actually surprised that they had one on Poloniex that recently, but whatever. Not to say that they're bad, they're just not on the exchange that I use. So removing crypto there. Alt Ninjas, actually, real quick, curious how these guys are performing as a whole, because for me right now, they've been a little hit or miss. Granted, the market recently has also been hit or miss, so things have been a little screwy recently. If you, it looks like, oof, some of these have definitely not hit as well. Like you got some that definitely killed it, but there are others where if you bought Ven, depending on where your TSL trips at, if you had a 1.5 arm, you'd just be in the negatives. Like that's a little hard. Um, anyway, so one of the things that like if you use Mining Hamster at the moment, which a lot of you do, a good tip is actually just going through and counting which coins that they've used on your exchange. Um, like you can put a spreadsheet together. I know some people have already done that type of thing, and figure out what gets signaled often, and then you can use those 15 as your coins. That can work for you if you're using signals only. I don't know, how well that will work for you in the long run. I hope it does work. I'm not necessarily recommending that you use that as your main strategy either. It's just a thought if you're doing like a bunny or something like that. Um, One of the other tools that's out there that isn't necessarily associated with CryptoHopper is TradingView. TradingView is a very popular website for trading in general, and I use it often. Well, not recently. I haven't used it recently, but one of the cool things about TradingView is that you can go in, and this is their the account is free on TradingView if you want to sign up for it. But if you go to markets, cryptocurrencies, you'll find something here that says cryptocurrency signal finder, which is the view I was currently looking at, but I'll kind of reset things so you can see it from scratch here. And they recommend coins over time, and have a bunch of different interesting uh, views that you can look at. And they have ratings here for different buy types. So they'll give you a buy, strong buy, sell type of thing. So you can go in and modify certain things. And like if you're using, like I am, Binance. And this is honestly what I'm about to show you is more part of day trading as opposed to coin selection. I will get back to a bit more coin selection in a second, but I do kind of want to cover this a little bit. And if you go to strong buy, you'll see their recommendations on different coins. that are, whoops, thought I thought I selected, there we go. Binance strong buy. And you can, because it'll show you both Ethereum and whatever, you probably want to put in BTC just so that if you're trading BTC, I don't know why it keeps going off of the exchange I said. Again, I seem to do that. This is normally doesn't happen with TradingView. I guess because today I'm actually trying to illustrate this, it's being finicky. So right now it doesn't have any strong buy matches. If I remove this with BTC, it has Ethereum pairs that it says it believes are a strong buy. And just for illustration purposes, I'll click on one of these and it'll show you a bunch of different charting information on why it thinks that this was a strong buy. I guess in the technical analysis it might have changed between me clicking on it and something else, but now it's at a sell. And that's one of the other kind of important things, is that this can change very, very quickly. Isn't that, yeah, that's still there listed as a strong buy for some reason. So that's kind of odd, like the technical analysis summary. Ah, I know why. So actually, let's click here, because by default, it's showing you this for what it's done for the full day. And for the full day, it's been rated as a sell. In the last 15 minutes, however, let's see, it's rated a strong buy. So it's done some things where in the last 15 minutes where it's like, hey, these things are great. So it shows you all these different indicator pieces here that you can go down and scroll through. And it'll show you exactly why it rated it this way. Like if it on RSI, it's a bit high. So if you used an RSI strategy, it probably wouldn't have agreed with this because it's at a 60 here, almost a 60, which is a bit high. But some of the other averages that are used are potentially saying buys. So it depends on the type of trading signal that you actually would have used, whether that would have worked or not. And it's just an interesting tool that you can use. Like there are times where I'll look here and I'll just check and see what it rates as a buy or strong buy. And I might just manually buy that coin at that point in time. And it might then produce a positive for me. Doesn't always work. You might wind up having a bag that you have to hold on to for a bit. It just comes down to timing, honestly. But for coin selection, going back to that, like one of the other things you can actually do in TradingView that's kind of nice, aside from just straight up back testing that you can do within Cryptohopper, if you want to do some back testing, that's great. But you can kind of come here, select a coin over and look over time and see what that coin has done. Like here's Lunar, which some people think is a bad coin. I often get signals on Lunar from Mining Hamster or other things which become profitable. So I don't know if you necessarily want to have it on a strategy, because you may wind up holding it for a bit. Because Lunar, honestly, it gets pump and dumped often. Like if you see this green thing here, this is definitely part of a pump and dump here, almost guaranteed. Well, it maybe not, only because it came down kind of slow, but it gets pumped often. So it's kind of almost, I almost want to say, like, this is a type of coin, if you're doing signals only, this is the kind of coin that you want to have in your signal, because it gets selected often, and you can kind of catch a wave whether you did it intentionally or not. There are certain coins that you might wind up buying, like Chat, Lunar, Salt, or whatever, that other people will be, or other groups will put in their pump and dump group, and you'll wind up catching that pump and making a good profit off of it. Like here, looking at this particular coin, if you used RSI, depending on where you were buying, and the cool thing about TradingView is you can kind of come in here, you can adjust this to whatever hour mark you want. You could change the views. You could change your indicators. Like I picked RSI as one of the indicators there. Let's do MACD. And I'll favorite that as well. A lot of people like that one. And Bollinger Bands. And there's a ton of, obviously, like if you look here, a bunch of people used a lot of different things. I'm going to get rid of stochastic RSI and just leave these two here. So you can see, at least looking at RSI, generally people have RSI set somewhere between 20 and 30. Some people go a little higher with their RSI at 35, maybe even 40. That to me, it depends. Like if you can go at 40 if you're combining it with another strategy, but I wouldn't do 40 on its own. But by default, a lot of times it'll be 20. So if you had an RSI buy at 20, it would have purchased. Why is that view doing that right now? It would have interesting. I thought looking previously it would have purchased at this point, and depending on where your other settings are, it could have either sold when it got to 80, or if you have a standard gain type of trigger, it would have sold at whatever percentage that you hit it at. But I mean, this would have been around the 21st, and it wouldn't have been profitable until almost the 23rd for you. So it's the type of coin that you can definitely buy and hold on to, and it'll make money over time, but it kind of stays flat for a while too. So that's where, like, if you were running a strategy, maybe you don't want this coin because you might have bought it at a certain time and you're just holding it. And that can get kind of dangerous. So there, in looking at this type of thing, like I said, if I was doing signals only, I'd put Loon in all the time. If I'm not doing signals and I have a strategy running, Lunar, it can work because it might have bought at the right time, but you'd be holding it for a while. So it kind of gets a little sketchy there. So that's why I think coin selection is kind of important. And when you're looking at your coins, instead of doing it randomly, you can come in, put it into TradingView and actually look at what it's done over time to see, like, is this something you're comfortable with? And granted, this is also a 4-hour whatchamacallit here. So if I looked at this more at maybe a 15-minute candle, maybe this would be a bit different. In which case, there's probably a point where it does. I thought at some point I did see that it got down to 20 or so. But if you had this in a 30-35 setting, it might have bought at the low end and then sold high for you if you were running a strategy, but it's often not doing too well. All right, I feel like I'm kind of rambling right now on this. One other thing I kind of want to show you guys, like I've been messing with Profit Trailer for a bit, and it's done decently. Like if you look at my sales log, it's actually performing well. And in a weird way, right now, I've kind of combined Cryptohopper and Profit Trailer to help out a bit, where what I'm really doing in Cryptohopper is that I have it set for signals only that gets sent into my Binance that buys it. Once Binance has it, Profit Trailer kind of starts watching it for me. And I use Profit Trailer for actually selling the coin. I found that it actually performs better with the gains and watching of the coin than Cryptohopper did for me. It's not to say that Cryptohopper is bad at that. I just have found that Profit Trailer has made a bigger profit for me, which also isn't to say, like if I show you here, I'm holding a bunch of different bags right now because of the market isn't doing super hot at this moment. It's doing, like, as a whole, it's been meh. So, and some of these were purchased through signals actually that were sent to me one way or another. Some of it was probably purchased through the actual uh, profit trailer itself, but a lot of it I think was some signals that were recently sent through alt ninjas, unfortunately. And even mining hamsters had a few here and there that have not worked so well. The cool thing with profit trailer that's helped out a bit, and I mentioned this in my last video, is PT Magic here, where it will go in and kind of look at the market as a whole and look at all the different coins that are here and determine like, okay, like this recently was probably part of a pump and dump. So we're going to put pump and dump protection on it and basically tell profit trailer not to purchase it at the moment, because if it's using something like low Bollinger Bands, it will wind up coming down from the dump, and it might hit that buy period, and then I might wind up holding it, or it might continue dropping well past that where it should have stopped at. So that's why it'll put pump and dump protection on something for I think it lasts for a day. I'm not 100% positive on the amount of time, and then it will remove the check here and put it back into the normal trading. So the market's a bit, it's actually not too bad at the moment. It looks like things are starting to head upward. Unfortunately, I'm kind of tied up with all of what I have right now, and I'm maxed in my positions at the moment, so I'm not going to be purchasing, I think, until some of what I have sells off, or get new triggers, whichever comes first, and that's fine. And it has a sales analyzer here where it can kind of look at how well you've done over a period of time. I haven't been using this that long, so it's been less than a month at this point. I've out of the, I think it roughly $500 that I have in Binance, or had, because I added more today, but out of the $500 I had in Binance, I've made a $33 profit so far in roughly 7 days, give or take, maybe a little bit more, because you can kind of see here when I started doing the trades. So there were some days where I had great sales, and recently the market's been kind of bearish, so I haven't done as well in the last few days, but you win some, you lose some. It'll probably pick back up at some point. So yeah, all right, I think that's it for now. Check out my other videos, check out the links below, like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks.